Hey, good morning, Facebook. I'm Andrew Smith, and I'm at my home here in Cookeville, Tennessee. But my old pal, my comrade, my colleague, Peter Werbe from Motor City is in the house from his home in a undisclosed location in the inner suburbs of Detroit, where he's lived with his beautiful spouse for many, many years. I met Peter 35 years ago this spring at Alvin's Bar on Cass Avenue at the Layabouts party for the No Masters album on vinyl, and I was 18. I had a doctored ID. I had manually doctored my identification to get me into a 21 and over club. And I saw the Layabouts, got my dance on. I've been a humongous Layabouts fan ever since. And I was a Peter Werbe fan because I remember in high school on Sunday nights lying in my bed trying to fall asleep listening to Night Call as early as probably about 82 or 83. So
The phone-in
and
talk show.
yes, and when that day you said you had actually heard of me because all my protesting antics at Southfield High had gotten me some media attention. So when I was having my fanboy moment with Peter Werbe and Peter Werbe actually knew who I was, it was like the greatest night of my life. And that was 35 years ago in 86. And then I dropped out of college in 87 and moved to the neighborhood and got involved with the trash incinerator.
Right.
And then the Fifth Estate became like my second home after that, and the rest is history. I won't go through all of that, but I've known Peter for 35 years. He's a DJ. He's an editor of an anti-authoritarian publication called Fifth Estate, which is continuously published for 55, 60, 65 years? 55.
56 years.
For
to this
56
year.
years.
Yeah.
And you can get on the archives at fifthestate.org. There, all of your subscription information will be there. And Peter has been threatening to write a book for as long as I've known him. So I actually had given up on ever seeing your book ever come out. And finally it's here. And it's a novel. It's a fiction novel, Summer of Fire. So of all the books you could have written, Peter, why did you pick 1967, and why did you pick the Detroit Rebellion as the centerpiece of your text?
Well, that's interesting in a couple ways. I don't know if I guess the Detroit Rebellion, which was a black uprising after centuries of abuse, finally a social explosion in reaction to what a despised minority was subjected to, and whether you can call that the center of it, I don't know. I suppose because of its magnitude and because of its importance to the city, you could call it the center. But it's a wide-ranging book about the anti-war movement, about the rock and roll scene, about the whole question of the legitimacy of violence. I mean, it's strange that I've been taking Tai Chi now for 30 years, and to have a book that is so steeped in violence, you wonder, where is all this coming from? Actually, one of our teachers, who's an amazing Tai Chi practitioner, he does indie films, and his films are films of violence and horror as well. So I don't know what to make of all that, but it's the questions of the day which resonate today. I read through some of it. There's a part in which, and I won't give away too much of it, where a venue is stormed, right, by a mob. And I thought, well, hello. And I didn't write this after January 6th of this year, but I was, thinking of parallels. It just kind of came out of me. There was no plan. I didn't have an outline. I didn't know what characters were going to be in it. I just started writing. And it wasn't like Philip K. Dick, the anarchist science fiction writer who would take amphetamines and write for 5 and 6 days straight. This really came like over a year or so. And it just... I always thought it was a cliche about books writing themselves, but in a way it did. Obviously it had to have, my memories and my fictional inventions and my research into actual history, but it all came together in a novel.
So a historical novel called Summer of Fire. And we, Peter Werbe and I, are going to have an hour-long-ish conversation, maybe even a little longer, this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central on Teacher on the Radio Facebook, Ordinary Space Facebook, my personal Facebook. And then 2 weeks from Saturday, or I'm sorry, a week from Saturday, so a week and a half from today, Teacher on the Radio on 88.5 FM at 11 a.m. Central in Tennessee is going to launch. I'd probably be one of the first people to drop the soundtrack, but I've got a rough draft of a longer soundtrack that Peter and I have worked on together. With his help, we've put together a playlist, a 4-hour, 60-song playlist that's based on artists and songs that are mentioned in the novel. I love you and I know you, so I'm completely biased. And I'm also a literature teacher, and I've just got to say this novel is mind-blowing. It is now available for order from the Fifth Estate, also from BookBeat and other, and from AK Press. And on Saturday, I'll have all the links of suggested places for you to order this book. But
you can just go to peterwerbe.org and all the purchase.
So let me just show this really quickly that you showed me this morning, and we're going to wrap this up, this little preview up for today. But Peter showed me some pre-press he's getting in Detroit on a Detroit website with an excerpt that's been published. And there's a young Peter Werbe. There's a book cover. I can't wait to get my hands on a physical copy. As of right now, it's not available on ebook or on Kindle. It's only on Audible. It's only through independent sellers. It's not being sold through Walmart or whatever. Peter Werbe was a DIY publisher before we even had the phrase DIY. So you are in for a treat. So please tune back in this coming Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, for a conversation between Andrew Smith, a.k.a. Sunfrog, and Peter Werbe of the Fifth Estate. I won't say all your AKAs that you've had over the many years, pseudonyms under bylines. And we're going to talk about your debut novel, Summer of Fire, a Detroit novel. And then a week from Saturday, we're going to have excerpts from this massive 4-hour playlist that you helped me put together, songs based on the novel. So I'm Andrew Smith, Peter Werbe. Let's get together. Let's not do the whole thing today. Let's get together and do it again on Saturday. What do you say?
I absolutely. I want to just say one thing. You are being way too generous when you say that when you talked about putting together the list. It is your work, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. And I'll have it posted on my webpage, my website, peterwerbe.org, and also on my Facebook page under my name.
And I'll be, I'm sure, on my page, and you can do it on your Facebook. We'll be putting out the reminders about Saturday. But this was just kind of a sound check and a preview. So we'll see you on Saturday. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
You can